let's talk about the hidden operating system running your brain. You know, the code that dictates pretty much everything you do day to day. But here's the cool part. We're going to show you how to become its lead programmer.
I want you to really think about this for a second. That morning coffee, the way you automatically scroll through your phone, the snack you grab when you're feeling a bit stressed. Are you really choosing to do those things? Or is it more like a program just running on autopilot? We're going to treat the brain like a computer here and figure out how to get access to that source code.
And here's the best part. Your brain's software, it isn't fixed, not at all. It's actually designed to be updated. This amazing ability is called neuroplasticity. And when you decide to take the driver's seat, it becomes self-directed neuroplasticity. This isn't about brute force willpower, it's way smarter than that. It's about actually paying attention, noticing how things make you feel, and using that information to rewrite the code.
So how does this code get written in the first place? Well, it all boils down to this super simple but incredibly powerful 4-step cycle, the habit loop. It starts with a cue, say your phone buzzes, that triggers a craving for a reward. Your response, you pick it up and start scrolling. And the reward is that little hit of dopamine, that little jolt of novelty. This loop, when it runs over and over and over again, is what builds every single one of our automatic behaviors.
Now, this absolutely brilliant system for learning and automation, well, it has a vulnerability, a kind of backdoor. And in our world today, that backdoor is being exploited on a massive, massive scale. Here's the secret key to the whole thing. Our brains are wired to chase a chemical called dopamine. But get this, it's not actually getting the reward that hooks us. It's the anticipation of the reward. That little biological fact is the master key that unlocks our attention, and it's exactly what modern algorithms use to keep us glued to our screens. Just think about scrolling through your social media feed. It might seem random, but it's not. It's literally engineered to work exactly like a slot machine in Vegas. Both of them use something called a variable reward schedule. You pull the lever or flick your thumb, and you never know what you're going to get. A jackpot, a funny video, nothing. It's that unpredictability that sends dopamine through the roof and creates the most addictive habit. So let's just be really clear here. These algorithms aren't just innocent tools. They are quite literally designed to learn your psychological triggers and then use that knowledge to program your behavior for maximum screen time. In today's attention economy, your focus is the product, and these algorithms are the malware designed to harvest it.
And the fallout from this constant passive programming? Well, we end up with a pretty distorted view of the world. We get trapped in these filter bubbles where we only see things we already agree with, which just supercharges our confirmation bias. And because extreme emotional content gets the most clicks, the algorithms push outrage and fear, creating what's called emotional contagion. We aren't just being entertained, our entire perception of reality is being actively manipulated. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one, but what's the solution? How do we actually stop being programmed and start becoming the programmer? Well, the answer lies in learning the language of our own brain and finding a way to access what you could call its admin mode.
You see, your brain communicates with itself using these electrical pulses, brainwaves, and they operate at different frequencies. Right now, as you're focused and listening, you're probably in a beta state. When you start to get drowsy or fall into a deep sleep, you shift down into theta and delta. But there's this really special, powerful state right there in the middle. And that's the alpha state. It's the frequency of wakeful rest. You know that calm, creative feeling you get sometimes right when you wake up or during a light meditation? That's alpha. You're not asleep, but your busy conscious mind has quieted down, making you incredibly receptive to new ideas. This right here, this is your admin mode. It's the perfect state for installing new software. And getting into this state isn't just about relaxation. As Jose Silva, one of the real pioneers in this research, said, it's about learning to use your mind in a special manner. The alpha state is like a gateway to the deeper, more creative, more intuitive parts of your mind that usually get drowned out by all the noise of daily life. So how do we actually get there? Well, the great news is you don't need to be a Zen master or a neuroscientist. There are simple, proven tools and techniques that absolutely anyone can use to slip into the alpha state and start the work of reprogramming. One really powerful, science-backed method is called biofeedback. Okay, imagine hooking up sensors to your finger that measure your heart rate and then show it to you as a graph on a screen. By seeing that visual feedback in real time, you can try different breathing techniques and instantly see which ones actually work to calm you down. You're learning to consciously control things you always thought were totally automatic. And listen, this stuff works. The science is in. Research has shown again and again that biofeedback is highly effective for a whole range of common issues, from managing things like anxiety, tension headaches, even high blood pressure. This isn't some fringe idea. It's a proven method for training your mind to regulate your body.
But here's the thing, you don't need a bunch of expensive equipment to start taking back control. In fact, some of the most powerful techniques are just simple mental exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere to tap into that state of focused relaxation.
A perfect example is the 3-to-1 method. It's as easy as it sounds. You just take 3 deep breaths, and with each exhale, you mentally picture and repeat a number. 3, 2, 1. This simple little ritual works like a trigger, reliably shifting your brainwaves from that busy beta state down into that calm, receptive alpha state.
Okay, so once you're in that receptive alpha state, what do? Well, here's the fantastic technique for problem solving called the mirror of the mind. First, you picture the problem you're facing in a mirror with a blue frame. Then, you mentally slide that mirror away and replace it with a white frame mirror. And in that mirror, you vividly imagine the solution. Because you're an alpha, you're literally tapping into your mind's creative power to reprogram how you see the problem.
Now, to make sure these new programs you're creating actually stick in the real world, you can use these simple habit hacking strategies. First, don't just try to stop a bad habit, replace it with a better one. Second, start ridiculously small. A 1-minute meditation is infinitely better than 0. Third, you can stack your new habit onto an old one, like meditating for a minute right after you brush your teeth. And finally, tweak your environment to make your new habits the path of least resistance.
All right, let's bring all this home. We've looked at how our brains get programmed, how that programming can be hijacked, and now we've seen the actual tools we can use to grab the keyboard and rewrite the code ourselves. This right here is the absolute core message. The very same mechanisms that outside algorithms exploit, neuroplasticity, habit loops, those are the tools you were born with. Your brain isn't just a passive receiver, it is designed from the ground up for self-directed change. You already have all the hardware and software you need to be your own programmer.
So let's just do a quick recap of the big takeaways. Your brain is running on habit loops all day, every day. External forces like algorithms are getting really good at hijacking those loops. But you have an admin mode, the alpha brainwave state, that lets you make conscious changes. And with simple tools, you have the power to self-regulate and write your own code for a better life.
Look, this isn't just interesting theory. This is a practical toolkit. So the final question isn't whether you can change. It's about what you'll choose to change first. You've got the keys now. The keyboard is all yours. What's the very first line of code you're going to write?